That's a hum. Okay, I don't know. It looks like I think we have one person. Oh, we have two. Ha! Okay, well, since it's just us, I think it's a good time to kind of go over some things. I've got this camera set up for you, Kurt. Okay, and we're gonna go over that little ditty. Okay, it's pretty simple. You're gonna use a bar chord right here. Okay. We're accenting the B. And then we're going to the alternative. Just these two strings. And you want to hit the B string and the A is open. And you're accenting on the B with the pinky. Exact same thing. So I'm just hitting the E open again. One more time. That's a pull off, so you're going to go. So I'm pulling off to get that accent. Open E. And that's the whole ditty. It is a little pull off right there. So as you get used to I mean, you don't need to do the pull-off. I think the pull-off adds a little character as you're coming through. But the big thing is, when I was watching your video, you were pulling from the G or to the E. Just let the E string ring out. Yeah. Sorry guys. I like this camera because it's so much clearer, but it does go gray. If you're new here, we normally stream on Monday nights, but sometimes I like to just get on and goof off. We do have a Discord server, and inside that Discord server, people post videos. And someone that's been watching the channel and posting on the videos for a tremendously long time, Kurt, he's in the chat right now. He had posted a video. He was working on one of my little ditties, and I was watching it, and the big thing is, guys, everyone has a unique style. Okay, if I've watched Kurt play, okay, and I've sat there and goes, okay, how's he doing that? Kurt has a style, okay, and a way of pulling off and fretting notes that Kurt does, okay. So if I sit and watch Kurt play and I try to emulate Kurt's playing, I'm going to struggle at some of the things that just come natural to him. Okay, some of the things that I'm doing here just come natural to me. And that's with anyone that plays guitar is going to have something that they do that's just natural to them that may be a little unnatural to somebody else trying to play what you're doing, if that makes sense. So once more, this is the ditty that we usually do. The big thing is to get the E and the B on the open, on the pull off. The B and the E is open. And that gives it that diminished sound. I can't hear you without I can't hear myself without this. You need your microphone. If I did what? If I had to pick, at this price point, 100%. I think that this is the best guitar that I've ever played at the $1,700 price point. This truly is a fantastic instrument. It's got. Let me turn off the amp here. Let me mute the amp because it hums really bad. You're looking at price point, and you're looking at the features the guitar has. The tuners on this guitar, they're Grovers. You know, Grover doesn't have the flash and the name that they had 20 years ago, but they're solid tuners. These are very solid tuners on this guitar. The stainless steel locking nut, the stainless steel Floyd Rose FR 1500 bridge on this guitar, very nice. The pickup's growing on me. When I first heard the guitar, I thought it was a little, I don't know, but I'm starting to like the voicing. But we get into a rut and we like a certain thing. This guitar is more suited for like alternative tunings as far as the way the pickup's voiced. But I'm playing 80s hairstyle on it right now. It sounds fine. The Sustainiac, it's really cool. When you first get the guitar, you're going to have to detune it a little bit because it's set up to do a lot of, wild stuff. I think if there's a printed circuit board in here. There's like a little computer board, and it's got 3 pots. When you get the guitar, it'll come with a little booklet on what that module does, and the 3 pots back there. You can change the intensity, the gain, and the something else. There's 3 pots. So you can dial it in for your playing style. and get it to where it'll just like add some feedback or give you a little sustain in the note. Um, it's neck through body. I have not adjusted this guitar once on the neck as far as seasons, so it's stable. It's a heck of a guitar for $1,700. You're gonna. Okay, hold on, hon. I gotta fire up your microphone. Okay, what'd you say?
I said you have a question, and I'm sorry to this person if I butcher your name, but it looks like Mazzaro, possibly? I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered that. The question is, could you teach me some tricks Reb Beach does with the Floyd Rose? Thanks.
Red Beach. That name sounds familiar. The big thing with the Floyd, with the Floyd Rose, you want to look at what key you're playing in. So it took me a long time to figure this out. If you're, let's say you're playing right here. I muted my guitar. Hold on. So when you're playing, the B and the D are your friends on as far as opening. So what I did there is I pulled up. So get used to pulling. When you put your finger back onto the neck, strike hard. Pulling right here, off your G. It's a feeling that you just got to get. You got to. I guess the big. For years I just tinkered with it, just standing. It works best if you can hit an open note. Okay, let it ring out, and then hit a harmonic. But make sure your next note going into it that you're still in key with it. I don't always get that right.
Metal Mark says, when you practice, do you use a combo amp or a DAW plug-in?
Actually, what I'm playing right now is a little Friedman Mini BE that's right here, and I'm coming out of the effects send right into my wing rack. So let me move my camera. Okay, so right here is my Friedman BE Mini, and it's a really simple little setup. So I'm coming out of the send of the effects loop right into my Behringer wing, and my Behringer wing I have a chorus and a modulation effect on it, and it's just a plug-in. I do this, and then if you look right here, let me spin the camera one more time. This is also a really good trick. If you look right where the end of my finger is, that's the headphone jack. If you have a little desktop amp, this little THR10 works good. Come right out of the headphone jack, right into your mixing board. It already has your cabinet R's and everything already in it, and it works really well. We've been doing the stream for a very long time, just coming right out of the headphone jack of that THR10 into these are Wolfdale array drivers, and it sounds awesome. Now, if you listen to this little desktop amp with its factory speakers, it sounds thin because they're like 3x4s or 2 point. They're little teeny weeny speakers in it, so don't expect it to sound great. But if you put headphones in it, it sounds awesome. So I was like sitting here one day, I'm like, okay, it sounds good with headphones. I'm just going to come right out of the headphone jack over to my Mackie board. And I used it that way for a very long time. Yeah. I personally think that it worked really well that way. Um, I do have amplifiers. I have a rack mount amp sitting right over here. But it becomes too much work, if that makes sense. I think nowadays we've talked about it a lot. Do we really need an amplifier? I mean, I have a mixing console, a power amplifier, and control room monitors. I don't really use an amplifier anymore. Everything I do is either through this little line 6 stomp into the Behringer wing, or my Friedman into the Behringer wing, or the headphone jack of the Yamaha into the Behringer wing. And it works. If I use this amplifier back here, which is used to be my professional rig when I played out, if I do that, I either have to put microphones in front of it, or I have to come out of the main outs of the Applied Research Technology unit into like a pulse pedal, okay? Then into the Behringer wing. And it's fine. I can do that. We've done it many times. But it's on the other side of the room. It's more cables to run. And for doing YouTube, what I'm doing right here works fine. I think it actually sounds really good. Is it as nice as my tube amp? The tube amp has a warmer sound, and it feels a little bit better under my fingers. But these modelers, if you get them set up right, they actually do a really good job. They really do. And coming from me, that says a lot. Is it the same? It's not. It's not the same. But there are pros and cons to both. There's things that these amps that I'm using now, right during the stream, that I have a really hard time getting my tube amplifier to do, and vice versa. So I guess the old saying is don't throw stones at tube amps, and I'm not going to throw stones at modelers or anything else. I think there's a place for both of them, if that makes sense. I think this is a good sound. Doing tricks with a tremolo, you just gotta keep beating on it. You gotta keep trying it. Get used to pulling up on the string and then letting the tremolo come in afterwards. Do that. I got that little trick from playing hardtails. I played tremolo guitars my whole life. I never really played hardtails. And I'm sitting there playing a hardtail one day, and I'm like, I want to die bomb. So I did this little trick, and now I just use it along with the tremolo. So I was like, I wanted that tremolo sound. So I pull up. When I bring the note back down after using my other finger, pulling it up, it gives it the tremolo sound like I'm doing a slight die bomb, but I'm doing it on a hardtail. Now I've just incorporated that into my guitar with the bridge. So I might... I incorporate both. If you're just listening, you might not know, okay, is he pulling up and then also, doing like a double pull on the same string, or is he using the bar? You can watch people that have a lot of talent. Like you said, that one gentleman, if you're bringing him out, you must feel that he's very talented at it. So I would watch him. Watch what he does, watch this hand, and watch the note that he goes to afterwards, and how much he's using the bar. And another thing, a good tremolo like this one, this guitar, this has the Floyd Rose push-in bar. There is absolutely no playroom in this. If I touch this bar, I can feel it in the strings. There is no slop whatsoever. So you want to try to get as much slop out of the bar as possible. That way when you do touch it, it's an immediate response, and you'll get a better feel for what the tremolo is actually doing. And a lot of people will bend down. And whatever your notes, let's say you're playing at, 120 quarter notes per minute. That's pretty standard rock and roll. You want your vibrato to match the cadence of the song or something that you're writing in. So if you're at 120 quarter notes per minute, base this on quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, half notes, but make the vibrato, the accents, follow the time signature of the piece of music that you're playing. That will bring it in to the song a little better.
If you had only one guitar, would you have no problem using the Sustainiac in the neck position?
No, the Sustainiac in the neck position I think sounds fine. This is the neck position. It's not a pickup that, I mean, it sounds a little thinner than a standard single coil, if that makes sense. But if you use it in conjunction with the humbucker, it sounds good with the humbucker. It sounds a little anemic by itself. It's a trade-off. All things are a trade-off. I love the sound of a single coil. I love the sound of a Fender Strat. But they're noisy and they're a little thin. It's a trade-off. I like P90s. Okay, it's not as fat as a humbucker, but it's got more push than a single coil. But it's still a trade-off. It's still a single coil, so it's going to be a little bit more noisy. So a Sustainiac, I think, is great. Do I use it a lot? No. If I'm just messing around, I'll come back here and I'll hit it. And you're going to lose gain with the Sustainiac. I don't know if it's going to translate to YouTube, but the Sustainiac is on. Now I'm going to play something. Sustainiac off. It has more bite with the Sustainiac off. I know that makes no sense. It's just a feeling that I get. Whether or not YouTube, once it compresses it, whether or not you guys hear it, I don't know. But I have noticed that when I turn the Sustainiac on, it loses a little teeth to the sound. And you'll notice I don't use one of the little, I don't know what they call it. A lot of shred guitar players just put this thing over and it mutes the strings. With the Sustainiac, as you're playing, the E will just start to resonate just by you moving your hand, see? And if I start moving the guitar, you have to play really clean. It was starting to feed back because I missed those notes. Anything you miss, that string vibrates, and the Sustainiac is going to move that string even more, and you're going to get a bunch of ghost notes that just come out of nowhere. So it'll teach you to play a lot cleaner really quick, and it can really sound garbled and distorted if you don't play clean.
BTM bought a Jackson Soloist for Christmas. He said it showed up with a junk Floyd Rose special, so he put the Godot 1996 T on it, a real nice piece. He said it also needed a fret level and major neck adjustment.
Is that which Jackson is that?
I think it was the X model.
Yeah, the X models are their budget. I mean, it's the model above the JS, and there's a Guitar Center in Fairfax, Virginia. It's about 30 minutes from my house. They had two Jackson S model neck throughs. I played both of them, and I thought the end fret dressings were pretty rough on them. And I didn't pay attention to which bridge they had, but yeah, on the X model, it's going to come with a Floyd Rose special.
He said it's Indonesian.
Yeah, it's about price point. You know, on the JS, I don't think you get any better fret work, and this is no lie, between the JS and the X series. I really don't. The series above that, that's the one Linnell has. And I notice a difference in the fretwork in that guitar. Let me show you that one. Now this one's Indonesian as well, and it's painted in China. And they do make some X models like this. They make one in a crackle, but they do not make, I don't think they make this finish in the X model. So this is a CYJ 2500516. And this is neck through. And this is the last step before going to the Virtuoso. So when you go above this one, you have to go to the Virtuoso. So this guitar is normally like $1,500. I wouldn't pay $1,500 for it because we didn't. And just pay attention. This guitar will go on sale for $12.99 or $13.99 or $13.50 or $13.49. I used to see it a lot 5 and 6 months ago go on sale for $12.99. And this guitar is stupid good. This one has the Floyd Rose FR1000 on it. It has Seymour Duncan pickups. It's got a good quality switch in it. It's neck through body. And it does have the Jackson tuners. So you're not getting the Godot tuners that you get with the Virtuoso. They got to make it, you know, a little less. Even though the Virtuoso is American made, they got to make it, well, it's not just American, but we're putting Godot tuners on it. And I think the Virtuoso uses the 1500. Don't hold me to that. It's either the 1500 or the 1000.
Jupe says, Avery, how long before you send that crackle finish to me?
That's not my guitar to send to you, Mr. Jupe. This is Linnell's baby. And this guitar really does. This guitar, it's good fretwork. So when you go from like the X, like the JS to the X, the JS is their budget, okay? When you move up to the X, you're going to get a little bit better pickup, a little bit better tuners. You know, they even have some neck throughs. But as far as time spent on the fretwork and stuff like that, it's still what I call a fast guitar. So I think there's good buys out there. The ones that I played at Guitar Center felt like they needed a little bit more fret dressing, but I was seeing X models for $4.99, $5.99, neck through, because about a year ago they were having a really hard time selling those X models. You know, at $4.99, if you could get, well, I think that one was a bolt-on. I think the cheapest neck through that I saw at Guitar Center on the X model was $5.99. That's cheap. So if you can get this guitar in the X model for $5.99, and you've got to do a little bit of fretwork to it, and it's got the Jackson pickups on it, that's no big deal. It's $5.99. You're getting a neck through guitar. Do a little fret dressing on it. Put your preferred pickups on it, you know, and rock it out. You're not going to get a neck through guitar in that crackle finish. They had a blue crackle and another crackle. Both of them were, I'm pretty sure it was $5.99, but they had Jackson pickups in it. It's all price point, guys. I hate to say that. That's just the nature of the beast. I think one of the best guitars that you can get is the Virtuoso, but it's expensive. And it's American made. It's $2,100, but it's a great guitar.
Yeah, BTM said his is neck through also, and it also has the Jackson Actives.
Oh, Jackson Active.
And he said he paid $636 total.
That's what I'm saying. That's hard to beat. Okay? I mean, it really is. If you're, you know, if you watch some of my videos, you can go back, and if you've got a couple frets through here that feel a little wonky, it's pretty easy to dress your frets up. Okay? And if you've got a Floyd Rose special on it, it's really simple at any time to change your bridge. I don't think I would go to a Floyd Rose 1000. I think I would just put a Godot in it. I think the Godot is about $100 less than the Floyd Rose 1000, and it's going to be as good. Okay. The Schecter has a stainless steel bridge in it. I think that bridge is better than the Godot bridge because of the hardness.
Warhart says on his new cheap pile, the frets feel like they won't last long and the bridge hits the body.
I've never played a pile guitar. A lot of times your more inexpensive guitars, the fret wire is very soft. So even if you get a good one and you play it a lot, you'll get a lot of fret wear really fast. A lot of people don't talk about that on budget guitars. They're saving money somewhere. So the fret wire is a little soft. Usually the electronics are, you know, iffy. It is what you're buying, if that makes sense. We've reviewed a couple really inexpensive guitars that I thought, you know, hit way above their weight. And we talk about it all the time. At what point do you hit that point where, okay, you're getting CTS pots or Barnes pots or Alpha pots? Those are your three good ones. If you've got those three pots, they're good pots. Okay, I'm getting away from CTS. I'm using more Barnes and Alpha because I just think they feel better. When I turn a Barnes pot or an Alpha pot, for me, I think it just has a better feel than a CTS pot.
He said the pile was a gift.
Yep. So when you start looking at, let's say, $700 price point, you're going to get decent electronics. At $700, you're right at that point where you're coming out of the micro pots, and you should be getting some full-size pots. You're going to get better tuners. When you start spending over that, depending on what you're getting, if it's a bolt-on, I think for $800, you can buy a very solid, when I say solid, you should be able to buy a very solid bolt-on neck guitar for $800.
Matrix Star says, I have a Pro Soloist SLA 3Q, and the Floyd was set up from the factory on a 15-degree angle, and the claw was also uneven. Terrible fretwork. The high E gets caught too. The Mach 6 is on his radar now.
The Schecter is just a superior guitar. Nothing against this guitar, okay? But the Schecter is a lot more guitar than this.
And Larry would like to know, where did you get the Vandenberg on your thumbnail page?
Oh, well, here.
Yours isn't actually pink though.
Oh, well, okay. Yep, I have a Peavey Vandenberg. I bought it new. I bought this guitar new in 1990 off of Shenandoah Music in Winchester, Virginia. I bought all my Peaveys. I was a Peavey player full time for 25 years. All I played was Peavey, and I got a lot of people would just say, "You play Peavey," and it was so funny. Playing out, not even this guitar. This guitar would be, I had a Peavey Nitro, still have it, and they would go, "Why are you playing Peavey?" I'm like, "It's a great guitar," and like, "It's a Peavey," and I would hand it to them, and I'm like, "Play it," and the man they go, "Man, gosh, this is a killer guitar," and they would hand it back, but it's a Peavey. And it was so funny because it said Peavey, no one wanted to play them.
Larry says, what's the serial number for the Vandenberg? He has number 22.
This one was 2,810. So this is the 2,810 one made. This is a Gen 2. Notice it does not have the 2700 killer on it. This has the Kahler spotter. So this was after Floyd Rose screwed everyone in the musical industry and prevented Dave Kahler from making the world's best tremolo. This one's good. This one's still better than a Floyd Rose, but not as good as the 2700 killer. So if you have a Gen 1 Vandenberg with a 2700, you've got a heck of a guitar. All my other Peaveys have the 2700 killer on it. And if you go to Kahler right now, they're going to say they make a 2700 bridge, but it's not a 2700. It's an updated, basically, spotter like this one has. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've spoke to Mr. Kahler several times about it. The 2700 killer is never going to come back, just simply due to cost of manufacturing. It costs, let me cut that amplifier off. It just costs too much money to manufacture that bridge. There's too many parts, too many little tiny parts, the machining and the time to make the parts. No one wants to spend $800-900 for a bridge. And I kind of agree with that. But like I told him this probably 5 or 6 years ago. I said, you already have the tooling, you've already got the programs, and they're already proofed. Why don't you make 20 a year? Just make 20 of them a year, and you can put them at $900. I guarantee you, they would sell. Or just if you make 20 and it takes you 2 years to sell them, so be it. But there's people like me out there. I'll be honest with you. I might give Dave Kahler $900 for a brand new machined, on a Haas, his new Haas machines, to that level. I think I would do it. And I would send that bridge to Kiesel, and I'd have a Kiesel made, or I'd have something else made, custom, with that bridge. I'm not going to alter this guitar because it's my original Vandenberg. This is a 1990. And I have two other Peavey Nitros. One's a 87. One's an 87, one's an 88. And then, actually I have two 87s. I have two Peavey Active Nitro single. And then I have one Peavey HSS. And then I have this one. So I have four circa 1986 to 90 Peaveys. I love the Peaveys. Even back then, this is a two-piece neck, guys. So the neck on this guitar does not move from season to season. Neither do my Nitros. So back then, Peavey was doing multi-piece neck, and it's quarter sawn two-piece. So they were extremely stable guitars. They don't get the love that they should get. This predates the Wizard. You know, the original Vandenberg had a very thin neck, just like this one, and that was before the Wizard necks come out. So everyone talks about Ibanez being really the inventor of it. It was actually Peavey was the first one to do the stupid thin neck.
Larry says Gary Kahler said that the 2700 was more expensive to make than the other ones. His is the black metal called Midnight or something like that.
Yep. Well, I always qualify. If it's not a 2700 killer, that's not the bridge I'm talking about. The 2700 killer, yeah, Mr. Kahler says it's just too expensive to manufacture. And I kind of get it. If you take one of those things apart, the string, the part back here that locks the string into the saddle, the string goes through the bridge. And then when you tighten it, that grub, that cylinder goes over the string and then locks it in the seat.
Jupe said, send it to me, Avery. I'll love it.
Jupe, you need a cam bridge. You really do. You need a guitar with a Kahler with a cam. I already know by talking to you that would be your bridge of choice. It's going to be extremely accurate. It's going to be smooth. It's not going to have the firm feel that a Floyd Rose has. I guarantee you, man, that you would really like a Kahler. If you can find it, which you might not be able to now, G&L had a hot rodded Super Strat, and they used the cam bridge on their guitars. I guess it was a couple months ago. You could get one for about $1,500, and I don't remember the model number, but G&L did actually make a Super Strat, humbucker single with the Kahler bridge.
BTM says Kiesel equals Carvin, basically, from what he understands.
It is. And Jupe, the gentleman I was just talking about, he's in the chat there. You can ask Jupe. He has a brand new Kiesel, and he had it custom made to his spec, and he had them manufacture it and put the Carvin name on it. So it's like a re-release of an older Carvin. And you can ask Jupe. I know that he loves that guitar. Carvin were great guitars. Kiesel, great guitars. And I know that's his pride and joy. I forget, it's something 200. I can't remember which Carvin that it's modeled after, but it actually has the Carvin name on it. So Kiesel will do that. Kiesel will make a guitar and put the Carvin name on it for you if you request it. So it's the same company.
Blue Mock says, I've never had a Kahler. Can those be set up like a trans trim, but only one key?
I'm not too sure what the trans key does. All tremolos, there's only one tremolo on the market that stays pitch true. So if I hit a G, okay, and I bend down on the tremolo, you would think that the G would just step down. But if I lock the bar right here, okay, let's say I'm on G, and I take the G down 2 half steps, okay, and I lock the bar right there. The other strings on the neck will not be equivalently out 2 half steps. It's the way this type bridge works. There is a company that they're doing some kind of voodoo magic to where when you strike a note and you take the bar down, that it stays in perfect pitch tune as it descends. I can't remember the name of that company that does that. And I don't even know how they're doing it. Like I said, it's some kind of voodoo magic that they're doing. And if you don't believe me, do that with your tremolo. Get your bar locked, figure out where your G is, okay, and get it somehow to where it locks 2 half steps down. Your other strings will not be 2 half steps down. It will not hold true pitch.
And Jupe's is modeled after the DC 200.
DC 200. I knew it was something like that. I personally would love a Carvin. I think the 2 best bang for your buck guitars in the United States right now for American made is Kiesel and the Jackson Virtuoso. I think, okay, If we look at the Virtuoso, you're getting a bolt-on with double chamfered frets, Godot tuners, a very nice Floyd Rose bridge, Seymour Duncan electronics, full-size Barnes pots, a nice high-quality switch. It's a great guitar for $2,100. So if I take a Kiesel and I build the exact same guitar in the Kiesel, it's going to be a couple $100 more. That's what it's going to be. You know, you can send pickups to Kiesel, but if you put, you know, select your pickups and you put their nice tuners on it and a bridge, you're going to be right around $2,400 for an Aries, you know, and that body styles is equivalent to the Virtuoso. You know, we're not talking about reverse headstocks or anything. They're both standard headstocks. I think the Virtuoso is going to be just a little bit less money, and both of those guitars are going to be solid. Which one do I think is the better buy? I don't know. I think, and you guys are probably going to throw popcorn, I think the Jackson would have better resale value. For whatever reason, I look at Marketplace and I look at these Kiesel guitars, and every Kiesel's custom order. So they're made to your spec. It's not like Kiesel really doesn't have a stock guitar. They don't go, okay, this is our stock Aries. They don't do that. When you order an Aries, you design it and it's to your spec. They don't have like it's an Aries. This is what it costs in these colors. There is no such thing as that. And I think that kind of hurts them on the resale value, because when you go to sell it, you may have gotten a base model and you paid $2,000 for it. And then someone else went all out and put the lumen lay dots on it, locking tuners on it, put, you know, all the bells and whistles. They may have put in special finish on it, and it run it up to $3,000. They're both Aries. So the person you're selling it to, when they go to look at the market value, it's really hard to give a market value on it, because none of them are the same. And it's made to your spec, what you wanted. So I think in a way that kind of hurts them, even though it should help them sell the product, because you get the guitar exactly the way you want it. I don't know if that makes sense, but if I wanted to everything my way, the Kiesel. But for the price point, you can't beat the Jackson. It's a solid guitar, guys. If you have the opportunity to play a Virtuoso, definitely play one. I played 4 right now. I played 2 neck throughs, 1 hardtail, and 1 bolt-on with a Floyd Rose. All 4 of them had superior fretwork. When I looked at the edge of the frets, it was a double chamfered, really nice, detailed end dressing on the frets. They played wonderful. They all just had a nice feel in your hand. You could tell it was a quality instrument. I haven't picked one up yet that I was like, they all felt really nice. And that's something to say. 4 in a row. That doesn't mean there's not a bad one out there. I'm sure there's been a Friday and Bob at the factory just wanted to get to the bar and have a beer. I'm sure that's happened. But the ones that I've played have been very, very good instruments. And this Schecter, again, I think this guitar is probably, out of all the guitars I've played, the best bang for your buck. It's neck through. It's got a 5-piece neck that goes all the way through the body. Sustainiac, great tuners on it. 1500 stainless steel bridge. Sustainiac, I mean, again, really nice fretwork. Now, these aren't double chamfered frets, but the end dressing's done well. The back of the neck, this is a shredder guitar. This is thin. That's probably just a little thinner than my Vandenberg, and that's thin. This is a thin shred neck. and I have no problems with tuning stability with it. This still has the factory strings on it. So it's shipping with good strings. You know, people are like, oh, it's strings. Well, strings cost money. A lot of these companies put crap strings on their guitars. This still has the stock strings, and they still sound lively. They sound good. I like the little Roman numerals. See the Roman numerals? Something different. And unlike budget guitars, they actually know what the 17th fret is. Unlike some budget guitar companies that put 12 on the 17th. That actually says 17 on it. So there's quality control there. Beautiful top. I have yet to see a guitar with these features under this price point. This one's it.
BTM said, I was an industrial electrician. If you didn't do your best work, you might make an ash out of yourself.
Exactly. You know, guys, it's really up to you all. I want a Gibson with P90s. I'd love to have a Gibson Les Paul with P90s. How often would I play it? I don't know. I don't know how often I would play it. But if everyone has a guitar that they've just always wanted, and it may not even be, like in my case, a Gibson Les Paul with P90s. That's really not a guitar that suits my playing style. It really isn't. But there's something about the guitar. I've got a couple guitars with P90s. I love the P90 sound, and I like a Gibson Les Paul. It's a rocking machine. But with P90s, that's just one of the guitars I've always wanted. I've always wanted a Telecaster. Okay, you guys are going to laugh. I've always wanted a Telecaster with a nice locking tremolo on it. Now, I just put a Telecaster on layaway, a new sire. It's a hydro dip guitar, and it has a 2-point tremolo on it, but it's not locking. So, but it's close. And the guitar is so stupid looking, I couldn't. I'm on a pre-order list. I was the first person to push the button. So it's going to be late August before those guitars get here. You know, it's something different. I'm into different. So I'm going to rock the Sire Telecaster that's been hydro dipped with a 2-point bridge. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that guitar. You know, that was really why we came on tonight. We wanted to.
Art says, have you ever really looked at the early 90s Jackson SL3s? I'm looking at one and thinking about it for a collector, but not sure.
I know late 80s, early 90s Jacksons were hot. They kind of fell off by 92, 93. That style of music was dying off. So in the grunge movement was coming in. So you got to be careful. A lot of these guitar companies, it happened to Peavey too. Eddie Van Halen really saved Peavey. But Jackson, Charvel, a lot of those, Kramer, a lot of these guitar companies went away when grunge come in. So you got to look at what year, but their quality started going downhill, especially Jackson, Charvel too, both. If you remember Robin guitars, that's when they disappeared because no one was buying them. So at that point, there was product sitting on the shelves. So Jackson started cutting corners, okay, to get product out, and they started lowering prices. So if I was going to do a Jackson for collecting, I'd probably want to be, you know, maybe 86, 87, 88, somewhere in that ballpark. That was really their heyday. Same with Charvel, if that makes sense. I definitely wouldn't go past like 94. And I'm not a Jackson expert by any means. I would get on the forums and see what years and what models hold value, and what models were just known to be good.
Billy says, I have an 88 Charvel 3DR, still one of the best guitars I own.
Yep. 88 was the years. Just like the Peavey Vandenbergs. Everybody was trying to build the best instrument possible to outdo the next brand. Whether it was Charvel, Jackson, Peavey, they were all doing it.
Art said 1990 SL3 with a JT 580 LP.
Yep. Kramer, I would say Kramer up until 88. I would say by 88, Kramer had already went, if that makes sense. But 86, 85, 84 Kramers, they were phenomenal instruments. But by 88, Kramer was already, in bad shape. They were robbing Peter to save Paul to get orders out the door. So are there bad, are there good 88s? I'm sure they are. I'm sure there's good 89s. But 88 seems to be what I understand was the year that Kramer kind of jumped the shark and their quality went out the window and it was hit and miss. So all these companies did the exact same thing. You got to remember that whole music genre was dying, and it was dying fast. By 93, it was gone. It really was. That's why you saw the Jaguar and some of these, I guess, instruments that we would consider surf guitars that went into like a grunge type thing. That's the resurgence on some of the old Vox amps, the Sun amps, stuff like that just had a different kind of sound. It was no longer the hot rodded Marshall sound, if that makes sense. It was more of a grunge, an overloaded, overly saturated clean amp. It was just a different sound. You also saw a lot of processing. This type of equipment went bye-bye because people were just getting a combo amp and just throwing a ton of pedals in front of it, and it was hairy sounding. It wasn't as clean and as crystal sounding as the 80s. It was just a different kind of music. And a lot of the stuff that I played here by mid-90s, a lot of these companies stopped making that kind of stuff. Digitech was still making the Artisan up until I think 98, 99, but it wasn't a big seller. It really wasn't. And by 2000, it was all gone. It was only Eventide and some of the TC electronic stuff, but there wasn't any rack mount guitar tube preamps. That all died really early. Marshall dropped theirs. Actually, Marshall come out too late with the JMP1. That was way late to the market, trying to compete with the ART that I have and the MP1 from ADA. They were just late to the party.
Jupe says, Avery, have you seen, now I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Ofer Holland's channel? He has all the 80s Charvels and Jacksons.
I have not, but if you go to Discord and leave we have it's a page on Discord. It says it's just for new channels.
You guys can laugh at me if I didn't say that right.
But if you want to post any new channels that you guys find that are interesting, we have a whole board on Discord with new channels that people find this channel. Maybe he doesn't have many subs, or maybe he does have a lot of subs, and just we'd never heard of them. So we're 100% about other YouTube channels. If it's good content, we're all about it. This is a small channel. Hopefully, they'll give me a shout out one day. So if there's a good channel out there that's doing good content and stuff, sure, I love YouTube. I'm all about watching other channels. Lord knows there's a couple channels that just always pop up in my feed that it's like, wow, why does this keep popping up in my feed? And I want to reach over and smack the computer sometimes. And then there's always the clickbait that they do, and I'm bad. I click on it to see how bad it's going to be, and I guess YouTube goes, well, he keeps clicking on it, so we're going to keep throwing him this YouTube channel. It's like, I got to stop. I got to stop.
Art says, any of the newer brands really stand out to you for quality?
The Jackson Virtuoso really stood out for quality. The Schecter products, really, man, it doesn't really matter the price point on Schecter. Now, the more you spend, the better it becomes. but I play some C1s. I think it's a C1. They're like $4.99. They're great guitars. The little Banshees, they're great guitars. I can't get over Schecter's quality. That Nick Johnson or whatever it is, he's got a import now for his Strat. That's a great guitar. It's like $800. So Schecter has a lot of guitars at a lot of different price points that just really, in my opinion, that they're kind of hard to beat. I love the Ibanez RGAs and the S models. They're hard to beat at the $450 to $500 price point. They're great guitars. They really are. We were just talking about the new Sire Y5. Right now you can get one for $499. 2 humbuckers, fixed tail, reverse headstock. Beautiful guitar. Got a true mother of pearl inlay center dot with 2 flank pieces for the inlays. For $499, it's an offset modified Strat. It kind of looks like a cross between an Ibanez that they kind of looks like it kind of melted a little bit. It's a cool body style.
Which Jackson are those that you were talking about?
The Virtuoso, that's an American-made guitar. That's made in America. And the cheapest one I've seen is like $1,850. It depends on the color. You can find them new for $1,850 in certain colors. The red one that I really like, the cheapest I've ever seen that is $1,900 and $2,000, $1,999. That's the cheapest I've ever seen that one.
BTM said, I played that $4,000 Blue Metal Flake Music Man guitar. It was nice, but I would buy 3 Jackson $1,200 ones instead.
Exactly. Hold on one second, guys. It comes down to what you want. Or 1 second. Okay, guys. If you don't know, I am a smoker. So if I offend everyone, I'm sorry. I only have one bad habit in life, and that is smoking. And when I was a professional musician, I had a lot of bad habits, and that was drinking, drugs, and smoking. And I've mentioned it several times. I no longer do any drugs, and I no longer touch alcohol. But I'm still a drug addict, and I'm still an alcoholic, even though it's been basically 25 years since I've touched either one. I did quit smoking for 6 years, and then I had a bad day, and I had one cigarette, and that was 7 years ago, and I've been smoking ever since. That's why I say once you are something, you always are. That's why I qualify what I say. But this is my one bad habit that I still have.
Art says, I was just looking at a Schecter Omen Elite 6 FR earlier at Sweetwater. Had them on sale for $5.99.
That's a great guitar. That is. And the Reaper, the Reaper will go on sale too sometimes. The Reaper's a stupid good guitar. It's just a hard guitar to beat at that price point. It really is. I think the new Ibanez S models with the zero edge bridge, it comes in at $650. You got 2 humbuckers. It's a thin S model body with a zero edge bridge. That's a hard guitar to beat at that price point. It's a heck of a guitar. We reviewed one on the channel. I think it's a S620 Ibanez. I'm pretty sure that's the model number. And that's the one with the bridge. Now, this one is a fixed tail. It's a great guitar. That's $450 on sale. And I think map price is like $489. It's a great guitar. There's a lot of good guitars out there. Schecter and Ibanez both do a really good job. Are both of them perfect? No. I have yet to have a problem with Schecter, but I did have a problem with one of the Ibanez products that we ordered. We ordered a PWM 20. It had some issues. And again, Sweetwater took care of me. That right there is a return to Sweetwater. I always say support your local store. But when my local store doesn't carry something, I buy it Sweetwater. And Behringer's not something my local store carries. And I went to them and I said, look, guys, I want to buy this Behringer wing. Can you all bring it in? And they kept looking into it. And I waited as long as I could. And I went in, I told them the week before I ordered, I said, guys, I'm getting ready to buy something. He said, the only thing we can offer you is a Yamaha TF rack mount unit. It was $500 more, and it had less features than the Behringer wing. I bought the wing. Now, I'm going to qualify. If I was a professional musician and I'm throwing that thing in a truck and I'm beating the tar out of it and I needed it to work no matter what, I would have bought the Yamaha. Why? Because I've never had a piece of Yamaha gear. I've got Yamaha power amps. I've never had a piece of Yamaha gear die on me out on the road. It's bulletproof stuff. I would have spent the extra money if I was going out and I had to depend on it. I would have bought the TF. But doing what I'm doing, the unit's not moving. It's right here. It has more features, more power. The wing rack in my scenario does what I need it to do. And I think that's how we need to look at guitars as well. Like Kurt always says, where he lives, the necks bow a lot. So he's more apt to buy something that has a 3-piece or a 5-piece neck because his climate changes so bad up in Michigan. Me, it doesn't affect me too much. I live in Virginia. It gets a little cold here and a little warm here, but it's moderate climate. So a scarf joint neck or a shiplap joint neck doesn't concern me too much, if that makes sense. So it's depending. If you live out in Arizona, you might have problems with fret sprout because it's so dry out there. I don't have a problem for fret sprout here usually, if that makes sense. Okay, what was it, hon?
Oh, Art says, my friend just got a Sire S7 FM, and it is perfect. Thing plays so smooth and has that old Fender feel for pennies compared to a USA Strat.
I played the L7V, which was their Les Paul with P90s on it. I'm telling you, that was one fantastic playing guitar Sire made. And dummy me, I went into the store and I told Linnell, we're not spending over $500. I went in, they had this used L7V, beautiful guitar. It had a couple light scratches on it, but you could tell it was a brand new guitar. Someone probably just bought it and didn't bond with it, or it wasn't their speed with the P90s, whatever. And I went up to him, I said, man, I'll give you $500. He goes, nope, $550. I said, man, it's $500. Right now, cash, $500 plus tax. I told my wife I wouldn't do over $500, but I could do it. Nope, $550 plus tax. I'm like, nope, not doing it. And I played the guitar. It was in my hands, okay? I knew it was a good guitar. I knew it sounded good. There's that old saying, if you can play it and you know it's good, it's a good guitar. And I bonded with it. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. And as soon as I got home, I looked at Linnell and I said, I want that guitar. She goes, well, let's go back next weekend. We went back next weekend, it was gone. Someone was, it was worth $550 used.
When you were talking about fret sprout, BTM says he's in New Mexico and it's a chronic problem there.
Yeah.
He said his average yearly humidity is 10%.
Normally, though, if you fix it the first time, okay, it may come back just a little bit. Usually, if you're in your area and you get fret sprout and you fix it, and let's say a year from now, you start getting that feeling again, if you fix it the second time, usually you're done, okay? You usually don't have to go back and mess with it the third time. The neck's going to be where it's at. So if that makes sense, try to keep the humidity in your house consistent. I don't live out there. I know here our humidifiers are set between 40 and 50%.
He said he's technically in the desert.
Yeah. Mikey's in the desert too. And he talks about, he's a channel member. Well, there's no members here. I consider all of you all members, okay? There may be people here chatting that aren't subscribed because you don't have to be subscribed to chat.
He said he's not had to do it twice.
Yeah. Usually, if you got to do it the second time, you're usually done with it. We picked up a Gretsch bass at Shenandoah Music, and in this area I've never felt fret sprout like that Gretsch bass had. It was awful. And the good thing when you have a good local store and you point something out to them, they pulled that product off the floor and it went back to their tech. And the next week I went back, they had fixed it. But in this area, that's very unusual for a guitar to get fret sprout like that Gretsch got on that bass. I think that was the worst I'd ever seen in a music store, any guitar I've ever played. And it was definitely fret sprout because they're chamfered frets. So in this area, we just don't have that kind of a problem with it. I'm looking an older Mooger. Don't think it plugins in the computer.
They're carrying on a conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything.
No, you're good.
As far as guitars, and what I feel are bang for the bucks, Ibanez makes really good. They really all do, guys. If you're spending $600, $700, $800, you should expect a really good guitar. And to be honest with you, at $450 to $500, I know you can get a good guitar. The S model over here, that's a heck of a guitar. Let me go grab that thing. We'll plug it in. I haven't tuned it, so I don't know how it's going to be tuned. Let me go grab it. Can I play your S model, hon?
Yeah, yes.
I think this is a great guitar for the money. I don't remember. Linnell got one of these used. I don't think it was this one.
It was the RGA.
She bought an RGA. It was a blue Aquaburst. Paid $200 for it. I didn't even know it was used. It was at the store, and she goes, "I want this guitar. It's awesome." I'm looking at it. It's like, cool.
Art says, I've been watching you for over a year now. I saw a video of a Kramer LP style with the Floyd and been here since.
Yeah. Devastator now has that guitar. I don't know if Devastator's in the chat.
No, he's not.
Devastator bought that guitar. So that's the main reason why we started the stream tonight. I want to get rid of a couple guitars that have been reviewed here. If you buy a guitar off of me, they have very little use. I will set the guitar up to your spec, and I will give it the Avery fret dressing and clean the guitar up and make it 100%. It will be far better than one that you can get from Sweetwater. We're gonna kind of. I only have one name brand guitar right now that we're gonna let go. The other 3 or 2 are budget guitars, but it's not gonna matter because when you get it, it's gonna be, even if it's a budget guitar, it's gonna hit way above its weight because I'm gonna make sure the guitar is right. And you'll be able to go back and look at the review that the channel did, and you'll know, okay, he found these problems. You just go back and look. I want these things fixed, and so we do that quite a bit. So let me give this thing a tune real quick, guys. I got my little strobe tuner right there. That's why I'm looking that direction. I love these guitars have quantum pickups, and they use the quantum pickups from everything from the $450 price point all the way up to the $900 price point. And that's another thing I like about Ibanez, that when you buy their $450 guitar, they're not putting junk pickups on it. The quantum pickups are awesome pickups. It's the exact same pickup in this guitar that they put in the S620 with the tremolo that costs $650. There's no difference. Exact same pickups. Oh, wrong string. I'm like, why is that not? My little squirrel brain. All right, let's listen to this thing. That's a good sounding guitar. And what I love about it, look at how thin that guitar is.
BTM says Amazon is dragging butt. LOL. My replacement fan for a Marshall MG100 HDFX still hasn't arrived. Says it will be here tonight.
Oh man, Amazon. Sometimes, man, I'll get stuff off Amazon. It'll be here the next day, and then other times it's like like you're saying, they drag their feet. What gets you is when you click on, they may have a product, and 2 or 3 different vendors are selling it, but it's, Amazon. It'll say be here tomorrow, and then someone else says be here by, like, let's say tomorrow is Tuesday, and then you'll go, well, I want it tomorrow, so you click on that one, because all the other vendors said it would be here Friday, and then it doesn't show up tomorrow, and it gets here on Friday, but you paid an extra $1 from this vendor because it said it would be here tomorrow.
Yeah, he said this is the next day.
Yeah. That they get you sometimes on that. Say, I'll spend the extra $1 and order from this vendor because it says tomorrow, but then it doesn't get here, and you could have saved $1 because the other guy said it would be here on Wednesday. That's happened to us a lot. The quantum pickups, I think, are really good pickups.
Do you know if the post spacing for a Ibanez Edge 02 will take a Godot GE 1996T without plugging and re-drilling them?
I do not, but I know the profile of the 2 bridges are completely different. So your route in the guitar is a completely different route profile between the Edge and the Godot. The Godot is going to be a direct replacement for more of a Floyd Rose clone because of the base plate. The base plate on a 0 is completely different. So you may end up with issues with where the block, the block where it ties the springs in the bottom of the guitar, versus the fulcrum point where the 2 pins are, where that block is. So you may run into a problem in clearance in the body. I've never done it, but I know there are two completely dissimilar bridges. So what I mean by the fulcrum, if these are the two pivot posts right here and the bridge is pivoting off those two posts, the block sits back here and there's a route that goes through the body. Well, the inside of that route to those two holes, the insert holes, might be different on the edge. Because if I remember correctly, the edge is more of a low profile type bridge and it's kicked back. Now, I don't know if they kicked the block and everything back, but I think I would try to find somebody that has a guitar with the edge bridge, and see if you can look at an edge bridge and get that measurement. I know the base plates aren't the same.
I think he has the Edge Zero too. He wants to know if it'll take the Godo.
What I would do in that case, get on Amazon. The Amazon has some $12 Floyd Rose bridges, like $16 Floyd Rose bridges. Order one, because that bridge is going to be modeled after the Floyd Rose.
Yeah,
if that cheap bridge will fit, then you know the Godo will fit.
Yeah, he just asked what do you recommend for upgrading the Edge Zero 2, as I've heard it's like a soft metal and wears out.
Ibanez has a couple different versions of the Edge, so I don't know their tremolo structure, but just like the Floyd, they have a softer and a harder. I would look at another Edge, but get the harder metal Edge. Like the one that they put in the Vi guitar is a much harder metal than the one they put in the S620, if that makes sense. And that may prevent you from having to do a lot of routing. And the next thing you want to remember, you want to change the posts too, because the post metal and the bridge plate metal needs to be the same. So if you use your existing stock posts and you buy an extra hard tremolo, it's going to wear the posts out really quickly, because the tremolo base is going to be a harder metal. They need to be similar, the exact same metallurgy. That way they wear evenly together.
He says they're just hard to find, so he figured the Godo.
Yeah, if you're going to do the Godo route, I know you can get like a cheap Music Lily or some off-the-wall Floyd Rose copy bridge on Amazon for like $15. Order one of those, take your guitar apart, and see if it aligns up. It's not just the spacing of the nuts, it's where that brass plate comes through the bottom side of the bridge. See if you're going to have the clearance. It's not going to cost you much money. It's going to be like $15 for one of those cheap bridges. If that clears, then you've got a really good chance that the Godo is going to clear, if that makes sense. You may not want to waste the $15, but you could look at it this way. Let's say you ordered on Amazon, take it out, make sure it fits, return it. Isn't that awful?
BTM said my 96 Jackson licensed Floyd is about worn out. I was going to get a Floyd Rose original to replace it.
I don't think I would go with the original. I'd go with a 1500 or a 1000.
He also said, but he might go with the Godo.
I have a video on how to make a better bridge. If you go to videos, it'll say Floyd Rose. It was a live video. And I go through how to build a superior Floyd Rose bridge for less money than the German original.
And Art says I have a Floyd and it does not line up, about 3 millimeters off.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're going to have to try to find a bridge that Ibanez uses on their higher grade models, with the Zero. I know they make 3 different versions of that bridge, so you're going to be kind of stuck with that, if that makes sense. That's the main reason the Floyd Rose is so popular. It's not that it's the better bridge. It really wasn't the better bridge. It was the cheaper bridge in manufacturing in the late 80s, early 90s. All these companies just went with it because it was cheaper than Kahler.
Art says, do not buy a new USA Floyd. He got one and the quality is way down. They're not the same.
Yeah, what I would do, go to my main channel and look for the video, How to Build a Better Bridge. So basically what I show you there is the only Floyd Rose parts you need are FR1000 posts, by the FR1000 base plate, and by the Floyd Rose upgraded rear bottom spring. That's what the saddles pushes on the saddles. That's it. All the other parts are going to be aftermarket parts, the block, the saddles, and I'm pretty sure we do it for like $200. You can ask Jupe if he's still in the chat.
Jupe just said Avery built a superior bridge to replace the Floyd Special on my Schecter.
It's an awesome bridge. So just go back and watch that show. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking Jupe's bridge is in that video that we shot. I built two bridges in that video. I built a budget version that's solid, okay, with a nice base plate and nice posts that would last forever, okay? But it's got cheaper saddles and a cheaper block and a cheaper trim arm. And then I built Jupe's bridge that just had the bee's knees saddle, the best block, the best, bang for the buck bar. We put a turbo bar on it. The best bar is this push-in bar, but the replacement part on that is like $60 for that Floyd Rose push-in bar. It's $60. Yeah, you can get the turbo bar for $30, and it's a solid bar. There's very, very little slop in that bar. But if you wanted to go the extra mile and do the push-in, you could do it for an extra $30, $40. But go back and watch that video before you buy an in-the-box from Floyd Rose Bridge. Believe me, it's a heck of a bridge we build. And like I said, all the parts are listed right there. I go through every part that you need to build that bridge. People buy the Floyd Rose and then they upgrade it. They go, oh, I'm going to put a heavier block on it. I'm going to put a tungsten block on it. I'm going to put a brass block on it. Well, if you're going to do that, don't buy the bridge, because you're going to throw the brand new block that you're paying for away. Or I'm going to put stainless steel saddles on it. Well, then don't buy the bridge, because you're going to throw the saddles and the block away, if that makes sense. Or I'm going to put stainless steel back screws on it and set screws on it. Well, now you're down to just a base plate. It's best just to buy the base plate and post and buy the aftermarket parts. And you can build it for less money than you're going to buy that German bridge for. And it's a better bridge. It really is. It's a much better bridge. I'm pretty sure it's how to build a better bridge. Okay, guys, before I get off here, I wanted to kind of go over the guitars that I want to get rid of. And these were guitars that came on the channel and we did reviews on. So if you guys are interested in any one of these guitars, all you need to do is go to the Discord and say, Avery, I'm interested in that guitar. How can I get it? The first guitar that we're going to get rid of that came in for review, and you guys are going to be shocked, but we are going to list the Yamaha Revstar. Fantastic instrument. These map price is $550. Okay. The only issue this guitar has, and I will fix it for whoever wants it, it has just a little bit of fret sprout. But go back, watch the review on the guitar. But I am going to put new strings on it. We're going to correct a little bit of fret sprout, and I will set the guitar up to your specification. And we're going to let this guitar go for $400, which is $150 off the brand new price. It is a brand new guitar. It's been played a couple times on our live streams. There's no scratches on it. It's a beautiful instrument, but I'll set it up to your preference. $400. And the other guitars are budget guitars, but they have been here for quite some time, and it's time to get rid of them. Every guitar here was reviewed at some point. So the next guitar up that we did a review on is a Firefly. You can go back and look at the review. Okay, what's so special about this Firefly is you cannot buy this Firefly. This Firefly was made for one run and only one run. And what's so special about it is, one, it has P90s in it that sound really good, but look at the frets. This Firefly has conventional frets.
BTM said I'll buy that.
This does not have the stupid ball-end frets that get hung up under the strings. And I've already done a polishing on this guitar. This guitar plays awesome. Awesome guitar. And you can see on the back there's no seam. It is a multi-piece body, but this was the only time they also laminated the back of the guitar with a solid piece of laminate. So it appears to have a one-piece body, but it does have pieces. If you look right here, there's a seam, and there's a seam. But they laminated the back to give it a one-piece back. Conventional frets. They only made this guitar one time.
I just told them, anyone that's interested in any of the guitars that you're selling, to get with you on Discord.
Yep. This one I've got to sell for $200 because it's such a rare guitar with the conventional frets. And again, this one's already had the fretwork done to it. Okay, it plays like butter. So it's a solid instrument. Great guitar. $200. You're gonna have to go back a little ways to catch the review on this guitar, because I didn't plan on selling it because it had conventional frets. Very, very rare. I actually have another Firefly with conventional frets,
BTM,
but it's very old.
BTM said 200, done deal.
Cool. I will set it up to your preference.
he said LOL, virtual handshake.
Yeah, that's a stupid cool guitar. Now our next guitar that was bought for review. This is a stupid cool guitar. This is an IYV. This is a hollow body.
BTM wants to know if you still have the box.
I'm not sure if I still have the factory Firefly box or not, but it will be packaged in a guitar box. I know I have some Firefly boxes downstairs, so most likely I do have the box. Most likely. So this is a hollow body IYV. Got the Tree of Life on it. And this has the Destiny wound CNC pickups in it. This one, stupid cheap, guys. We're going to do $100 on this. $100. So if anyone wants a Tree of Life IYV hollow body, and this guitar weighs nothing. When I say it weighs nothing, it's like 5 pounds. It's a stupid... I need to tune it. But it's a stupid player. And before anyone asks, yes, the neck on the guitar is a little chunky. So this is going to be like a, probably like a 50s Gibson. It's a little thicker than a 60s Gibson neck. So if you like a chunky neck, that's what this guitar has. It has a lot of, it's very loud in the room. It's like an acoustic with pickups. It's actually surprising how loud it actually is. So these two strings, that Allen allows you to move those two saddles back and forth. And those are the two troubled intonation. So it's a wraparound. Again, the guitar is really, really, you know, it's an awesome shape. But we're only going to do 100 on this one. I think new, this guitar is like, 229, something like that. If you buy it off Amazon, it's either 229 or one's. I don't think this one's. I think this one's 229. If someone wants to look it up. Either way, it's still way cheaper than you can get it new on Amazon. So we got that one. And if you're interested in that one, make sure you say the IYV hollow body, because we have its twin brother coming right up. Now, before anyone says anything, this guitar is heavy. When I say it's heavy, this is Les Paul heavy.
Steve says music and gear garage sale.
That's what it is. Today is garage sale. We have an IYV Tree of Life. This is neck through body. It is a neck through body guitar. Wilkinson bridge with the Destiny CNC pickups on it. We're going to do 150 on this one if anyone wants it. And I think this guitar, I've seen it as cheap as $249 on Amazon. I think normally it's like $269. Again, it has a chunky neck. We're going to have more coming up for sale. I got a George Lynch Firefly in the basement that I'm putting a Godot bridge in. It's either getting a Godot or an Ibanez bridge, one of the two. It's most likely getting a Godot. That one will be up for sale shortly. And then I have one other one that I'm working on. So, but these are the ones that I wanted to list for right now. The neck through IYV for 150. Beautiful guitar. And you can go back. We did reviews on each one of these if you want to hear them. This guitar sounds really good. We like this one so much, we have another one just like this, but in black. And we're keeping the black one. Linnell wants that one. But it's the exact same guitar as this one. But it's in black. But she told me I couldn't list that one. She wants that one. And it's a player too. So is this one. So those are the ones that I wanted to list and let you guys know that we're getting rid of. We buy guitars for review, and if you guys buy them, I always go through the guitar and make sure it's 100%. I check the fret level. I check the end dressing, I check the intonation, put new strings on the guitar, and I set it up to your all's preference. So if you all call me, and say, I want 0.065 on the low E and, 0.06 on the high E, I'll set the string radius and get it to your setting. And then I also really need to know, are you a hard fretting guitar player like me? I really dig into the guitar. I ask that because that changes how I set up the intonation. If you play soft, then I need to play and set the guitar up in a manner that's going to work for you as a soft player. Because it's really simple. If you plug your guitar into a tuner, tune the E string open, go to your 12th, hit the 12th string really light, look at the tuner, and then push on it. You'll see that the tuner will go sharp. So if you're a hard player, I'll set the intonation by pushing a little harder. It's a guess because if you haven't bought an instrument off of me before, then I don't know. So, but I'll do my best to set the intonation up depending if you're a soft player or a hard player. But those are the ones we're getting rid of right now. But if you want the George Lynch model, it's still on sale at Guitar Gardens right now. I think they do have it on sale for like 260, something like that. So I don't know what we're gonna do there because I got to put a $150 bridge in that guitar, and I paid full price for it. I have 330 in it, so the channel's gonna eat some money there. I know they all. I know I am. But super chats and stuff like that kind of offset the loss of the channel, if that makes sense. So we're going to end up eating some money on that one. But whoever buys that guitar, I promise it's going to hold tune. It's going to be right. From the factory, it's got a horrible bridge on it from the factory. Do not buy that guitar, guys, from Guitar Gardens. Don't buy it. You will be putting a bridge on that guitar. You just, it's a horrible bridge. So I've got one. The stock pickup in it's good. The tuning keys are good. Electronics are good. It just needs a good, solid bridge. I've already bought the Godo for it, but it also needs a locking nut because the locking nut is junk. So it's about $160 I need to put into it. So someone make me an offer on that and we'll work something out. I'm going to end up at $460. The guitar is not worth $460. It's just not, but that's what it's going to take to fix it, if that makes sense. So if I can get the cost of the guitar back, that would be great. If not, it's just going to sit down there and collect dust. That's why I haven't fixed it. I didn't want to put $160 worth of lock nut and a bridge on it if I knew I couldn't get the $300 back out of it. So in reality, I end up losing like 300 if that makes, well, yeah, I'm going to lose at least $150 on that. But that's, like I said, that's what the super chat's for. And hopefully that's exactly why Guitar Garden still has that guitar for sale, because my review exposed that guitar for its leak flaw. And it was one of their most expensive guitars. They just dropped the ball on the tremolo. It was just horrible. But we can make it right, and if someone wants it, I guarantee the guitar will be right. You can talk to other people here in the chat that's purchased guitars from me. You're going to get a quality guitar. Trust me, it'll be right. All right, guys, I'm going to say that's it for tonight.
Okay,
And,
when you get off, you need to get on Discord and go in voice because BTM is in there waiting for you.
Oh, okay. I will do that. BTM, please let me, because I've been I've been talking for an hour and 42 minutes. So I definitely want to take just a 5-minute break, man. I want to drink a little tea, smoke a cigarette, and then I'll be right on Discord, and we can iron out the details of the guitar and all that neat stuff. And I want to thank everyone for coming in on a Monday night. I know this is not our normal stream night. I don't do Tuesdays and Wednesdays because I have friends that have streams on those nights. And if I do come on those nights, it's after 9. And I very rarely do that. But Monday nights is fair game because I don't really know any channels that do Monday night streams. So I'm always thinking of other channels. And it's not that I'm pulling people away. I always think about that. I think the other week we did a stream on Wednesday, and that's usually Searching for Chones night. But I made sure I came on at like 9 o'clock. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I really try to look at what other people are doing. And a lot of the same people are here that are at TED Talks Tones or Searching for Tone or Steve from Boston. So I kind of look at where these channels are doing and who's going where. And I try to fit my channel in between, if that makes sense. But I want to thank everyone for coming in. And remember, if you haven't already, please go down, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're interested in any of those guitars, please leave me a message in Discord. And BTM, I'll see you in Discord in about 5 minutes. And since I don't have a Monday night 5-minute ending stream window, we're just going to use Thursday night's ending stream window. Even though it's Monday night, we're going to use Thursday night end stream. And that gives you 5 minutes to close up your all's things. Again, thanks a lot, everyone. I couldn't do this without you all. And anyone that buys a guitar, that supports the channel and allows the channel to take that money and buy another guitar for review. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night.